thank you for calling this bill up for consideration at the markup today. When folks back home save for retirement, college, or a down payment on a house, they expect that the system is both safe and geared towards maximizing their benefit. A beautiful thing about America's free enterprise system is how anyone can participate in the marketplace, strengthen the economy, and earn a dividend of the American dream. I think we all agree that's how it should be, but unfortunately, I think we all know that's not the way it is. Today, we're looking at it one way that it's not, and how we can fix it. I have in mind Dodd-Frank's Financial Stability Oversight Council, FSOC, tasked with identifying risks to U.S. financial stability and responding to emerging threats to that stability. This mission sounds good. It is good, but it hasn't worked well for a simple reason. If the purpose of FSOC scrutiny is to help ensure that companies don't pose a systemic threat to our financial system, regulators need to work with them to understand and ultimately mitigate identified or potential risks. Unfortunately, Dodd-Frank implemented a hasty process and created an adversarial relationship between FSOC, the primary regulators, and businesses, which has imposed harmful and unnecessary costs on our economy. Yet, because no one is immune to the consequences of a financial meltdown, all stakeholders have an interest in working together to prevent a crisis before it occurs. Thus, the more effective approach to addressing risk is a symbiotic or cooperative one. I believe FSOC operates at its best when it works with prudential regulators and the private sector to address our threats to our economy before they transform into calamities. Simply designating more companies as systemically important financial institutions doesn't make our system safer. Would you say that it's sufficient for firefighters to identify a house that's already on fire? Of course not. The key is preventing the fire in the first place. This is the problem we face with the FSOC's oversight of non-bank financial institutions. FSOC is really good at identifying tinderboxes, but fails to explain how they might be made less flammable. Instead, the Council defaults to what should be the heavy-handed regulations of last resort. To be sure, the FSOC has begun to recognize the benefits of leveraging the expertise of prudential regulators, as well as providing increased transparency. In recent years, they've taken steps to improve the designation process, including their February 2015 guidance, providing increased transparency in the SIFI designation process. These 2015 reforms were welcome, and this legislation will codify many of them into law, as well as provide a path for a company to eliminate risk rather than be designated. Importantly, our legislation will ensure a company's primary regulator has a meaningful role in the SIFI designation process. After 8 years, if we don't take steps to address the obvious shortcomings of the FSOC, like the non-bank designation process, the regulator intended to protect financial stability could very well become a liability. The American Action Forum has found that additional capital requirements resulting from a SIFI designation of asset management firms could cost retirees, American retirees, at least $100,000 in potential savings over the lifetime of their investments. That's why the reforms included in H.R. 4061 are critical to more than 90 million investors who rely on the services of asset management firms to achieve their most important financial goals. Companies must have a chance to de-risk before the FSOC can saddle their customers with such extraordinary losses. I'm proud to have worked with my colleague and friend, Representative John Delaney, on this strongly bipartisan piece of legislation, and I want to thank the chairman for his support and leadership in moving this bill through our committee. This bill demonstrates that there can be broad bipartisan support for increased transparency of the FSOC designation process. I believe we can do even more and welcome the opportunity with my colleagues on additional bipartisan reforms beyond those we are considering today to better address systemic risk by firming up the cooperative relationship between the Council and a company's primary regulator to ensure substantive engagement that can result in swift resolution of FSOC's concerns prior to a SIFI designation. With that, I again want to thank the chairman for bringing H.R. 4061 up for this markup, and I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman yields back. Who seeks recognition? For what purpose?
I move to strike the last word.
The gentlelady is recognized for 5 minutes.